Hi, welcome to this short video about challenges, problems caused by urban change in London. So remember, all of this section, in fact, all of this whole topic is about change, urban change. London has changed massively through time, and today for this session, for this video, we're going to be thinking about environmental challenges. Now, often when we think about the environment, we think about climate change, we think about wildlife, but environmental challenges, the environment, the physical environment, can involve buildings, it can involve parks, it can involve different areas, and how those areas impact on the environment. So think about the word environment, not just as meaning, it doesn't mean wildlife and countryside. In this situation, it is very much talking about the environment as you walk around London. Okay, so the first point that we're asked to pick up on by the exam board is this idea of dereliction. So if I said, well, there's a derelict building, what does that mean? A derelict building is one that is empty, run down and no longer used. So what urban change would lead to dereliction? So it will be a building that was used in the past and is not used now. Thinking about what that might be, it could be a factory. So in the past, in the UK, we did make a lot of stuff that we now don't make so much anymore. So we have factories in London. Often those might be in some of the inner city areas. So these are workshops and factories. Nowadays, most of our things are made in Southeast Asia and China and areas where it's cheaper to make things. So these factories tend to be run down. Another area are the docks. So these are in the River Thames. If you think at the beginning of EastEnders, you can see the river curling through the River Thames. And the big boats used to come down there and they used to moor up at the docks and unload things. So docks... these also can be run down. They're not used anymore. Those big boats, they go out to great big container ports now. They're too big to come up the Thames. So factories, inner city areas, docks on the River Thames, these are areas these are places that through time have changed, and maybe those factories are run down, they've got broken windows, they're not being used anymore. It's not good for the area. They don't look good, visual pollution, attract crime, attract pests, rats and so on. Not great. Second one, building on brownfield and greenfield sites. So let's use an appropriate coloured pen for each. So brownfield sites, that means that these sites were built on before. Okay, so brownfield sites were built on before. And a really good example of a brownfield site is the Brewery Square site in Dorchester. So that was a brewery, knocked down most of it, not all of it, and now it's flats and cinema and so on. Not in London, but it is an example of a brownfield site. A greenfield site has never been built on. So if you think about Poundbury in Dorchester, that was fields, it was green fields, and now it's been built on. So brownfield sites have been built on before. Greenfield sites have never been built on. Now this is again caused by change. They need more houses, then more people are coming in, they need more employment, places, offices. So what's going on here? There are some challenges, aren't there? So these brownfield sites, is it a good idea? Maybe it's an old derelict factory. Is it a good idea to build on those sites? What might be important about that? So you can take that, have a think about that, and do some research. Brownfield sites, would it be good to turn an old factory into new flats, new shops? Yes, absolutely it would. But there might be some problems. The land might be contaminated. Read up on that. Greenfield sites, never been built on before. So that means you don't have to clear anything away. You haven't got to deal with anything. However, you may have to put in all the services, the electricity supply, all the sewerage and things like that. Good and bad about both. Generally, brownfield sites are seen as being more sustainable because you're using land that has been used before and therefore you can make it better. Greenfield sites, you'll be destroying wildlife habitats. Last but not least, waste disposal. 8.56 million people create a lot of waste. So we have huge amounts of waste in London. Lots of waste. And that is a problem because you've got to put it somewhere. So all of those bags of rubbish, all that waste from the businesses, where does it go? Well, you can either bury it in the ground as landfill, but we are running out of space and those big rubbish trucks have to travel through the middle of London. This is a problem. You could burn it in an incinerator, but that creates all sorts of toxic waste as well. You can recycle it. That's good, but you need to have the facilities and you can't recycle everything. This is a big problem. This you need to think about. And those are the environmental challenges caused by change in London. As we no longer need certain buildings, they become derelict. That causes all sorts of problems. As we need new houses, there are challenges. Where do you build them? Greenfield sites, destroying habitats. Brownfield sites might be contaminated. And last but not least, all of those extra people, extra businesses create lots of waste. Where is it going to go? Landfill, we're running out. Recycling, have we got enough plants? Places to do it. Burning it may create some air pollution.